Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays to all those around the world. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hope everybody out there is having a good time, good holidays, having fun shopping. Hopefully you guys got Christmas lists going on, Amazon lists. You know, say hi to your grandma. Make sure you guys visit during the holidays, but stay safe out there, man. And for those of you that are out here still playing Pokemon Unite during these holiday times, you know what I mean? Like me and some of the rest of you, your grandma, your neighbors, your next door neighbors, we're here to have a good time. But I did hear that Greninja got a huge nerf, right? I heard a lot of Pokemon got big nerfs. You got Zero Aura got a big nerf. He finally got, you know, tuned down because he deserved it. For all you Zero Aura fans out there, all you guys be hating on Zero Aura and stuff, saying he's too overpowered, too strong and stuff, rejoice because he finally got nerfed. Greninja also got nerfed, which is very unfortunate because I think this Pokemon is a lot of fun, and sadly enough, we don't see him enough in the games, whereas we see Talonflame every game, but he didn't get touched. I don't get it. But regardless, we're going to get into it. It looks like his abilities did get changed just a little bit. You know what I mean? His boosted auto attack movement speed got, you know, bug fixed, which is nice. Okay, that's a good plus side. But double team damage got a little bit decreased. That's not so big of a deal, right? Because it's not that difficult to tell which enemy Greninja is the real or fake one. To some people it is, I get you. Because sometimes your abilities auto lock on depending on how you have your stuff set up. But either way, Water Shuriken is his bread and butter for a lot of players, right? Because that's what they play with when they play with Greninja. They don't like running Surf, they just play Water Shuriken because it's easier. But Water Shuriken cooldown got increased to 6 seconds. Okay, it was 5 before, so now it's at 6 second cooldown. And then you have your movement speed. They also, what do you call it, decrease the bug fix. So they fixed the bug fix for the movement speed, which is pretty good. But then your Unite move got a 2 second cooldown. So in other words, it got a 2 second added to the initial cooldown. So 164 to like 166. You know, it's not that big of a deal. But for some of you guys who play Greninja and kite away, or play Greninja and run into Greninja, his abilities to deal damage, his windows have been, you know, increased. You might not think 1 second is a lot of time, but it is when it comes to, you need that life steal now, you need to steal that HP, you need to survive, especially when you're playing Greninja, how squishy you are, you know what I mean? It might be a deficit for this Pokemon. But either way, I don't care about all that, because I like to play with Surf, and I know a lot of other people play with Surf, and we're going to dive into it and see how I set up this progression, how I set up my Greninja when I'm out here playing with my Greninja, even though I'm running Surf, typically not playing with Water Shuriken, but everybody has their own bread and butter, right? Bread and butter's pretty good. But is it your bread and butter? You know what I mean? We're kicking this off here. So you guys don't know how this works. Everybody need to realize this. His passive ability, right? While your HP is 50% or less, the attack is increased by 5%, and your movement speed also gets increased by about 12%. Okay, so he does more damage when he's half HP. Alright? Now, when it comes to your abilities here, we all know what Water Shuriken does. We get you. Okay? Surf is where people don't really mess with too much. Greninja essentially executes Pokemon when they're half HP. It does bonus damage to them when they're half HP, so almost like an execute. It does a ridiculous amount of damage. Once you get a KO with that ability, guess what? It resets. Then you can just surf again. You know, you're going to see where I'm following with this here in a minute. Now, it also does a little bit of heal to you, just like Water Shuriken. It does heal you. So once you get level 11 on Surf, it'll heal you for a bit more. So it does do healing for you, in case you don't know. For Smokescreen, the reason why I like running Smokescreen over Water Shuriken in Double Team is because when you're running Greninja in the jungle, you come onto that bush at level 5, you preemptively Smokescreen, getting to the bush, or getting towards that bush, or getting out of the bush for bees. They don't know you're there. You're invisible. It helps you set up kills, but you got to keep in mind that once you hit that Smokescreen at level 5, you don't have any other abilities. You got Smokescreen and you got your little bubble attack. So you got to be mindful of where you're at. But you also have Red Buff. And Red Buff will be your tool. You know, your bread and butter in that sense, to kite, get those kills, get bees, and get out. If you can get a kill, great. If you can't, if you can just secure bees, that's great too. Go back to your jungle, get level 7, come back and start killing people. So Smokescreen, what that does is your next attack becomes a boosted auto and does 5% increased damage. Greninja is also unstoppable when he's dashing through the smoke. When you max out Smokescreen, it increases Greninja's attack by 20% when leaving stealth. So when you get ready to open up from after being in stealth, for example, you get a 20% increase in damage. So think about that as you stealth into the backline with Surf. You're executing the target for double damage when they're half HP plus 20% on top of that. And then if you're 50% of your life, you get an increased damage because your passive ability, which is another 5%. You know what I mean? Greninja does a lot of damage depending on how you play him, as a melee carry assassin or a ranged AD carry assassin. And now your Unite move, we all know what that does. I'm not going to go over that. But either way, we're going to dive into a game right quick. And I'm going to see how fast I can get this game over with. Because again, I'm playing Greninja and I'm looking for kills. I'm not looking for all of the objectives because it's a solo queue. Sadly enough, every single game you play in a solo queue game, you don't know if your team's going to rotate. But if they rotate and you're there on Greninja and you're doing quite well, you're going to snowball. 100%. Item builds I typically like to run on my Greninja is Focus Band, Muscle Band, and either Razor Claw or Scope Lens, depending on what I'm feeling. And sometimes I'll opt for one of those tankier items. I'll get rid of Focus Band for Buddy Barrier sometimes, and then I'll run Razor Claw and or Scope Lens. Let's hop into it, guys, and see what you guys think about it. In 1 second, see you in a minute. Are you guys ready for Dragonite? Are you guys ready for Christmas, for holidays, for Christmas presents? Visit family, good food? Me too, man. Me too. I can't wait for it. This year around, we're going ahead and giving out gifts and stuff, doing Amazon lists, doing all the usual. But then at the same time, we're gonna go visit some family, have a good time, play Pokemon Unite, because Dragonite's also coming up here soon. So there's a lot of stuff going on this year for Christmas. I'm super stoked for it. New Year's is coming up. So for those of you that got to go to New York City before they burned down the big old tree, hopefully you guys got to see. I got some pictures and stuff, because it was actually a pretty sight to behold. But either way, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all those around the world. Welcome back to another Pokemon Unite video featuring Greninja here in the Master Rank coming through the jungle. We're sitting here talking about Greninja just because he did get nerfed quite hard inside of the Water Shuriken aspect for those of you that play Water Shuriken. But for those of you that are involved in playing Surf or want to learn more about Surf or how to play Surf properly or get better with Surf, not saying I'm the best Greninja out there, but I like to think I'm pretty good with this Pokemon. Now everybody does make mistakes, right? Because I am human. And we still learn from these mistakes every single day. The key is not to repeat those mistakes. You know what I mean? If you repeat them, you're not learning anything. In this situation here, I'm going to try to teach you guys the best of my knowledge on how to play Surf in a solo queue environment and still do okay and or come out on top. Because 9 out of 10, it's a solo game, right? So you may not get to the objectives, you may not get your team that actually is going to rotate, but as long as you are performing well on your Pokemon, guess what? You can take that into your next game. Maybe your next game you do better. You know what I mean? Today, you see how I initiate the Surf, or the smoke screen coming down the lane? Because I get a movement speed as I'm coming down, because I'm on our side of the map, next to our goal, so it does increase my movement speed. I don't want them to actually get visible cue that I'm here, right? I want them to not know I'm here just yet. Regardless if I'm just coming down for a poke, that's all I want to do is come down for a poke and move out the way. Because Dreadnought is spawning, I don't want to be too low on the HP before I have to initiate and go back in. My Memo Swan is level 5. We're sitting pretty. Regardless if my HP is pretty low, keep in mind, Surf is activated. Surf does execute damage when they're low or half HP. It does double damage essentially. When I'm half HP, I get another 5% increase from my passive ability. I play Greninja not like a ranged AD carry. I play this Pokemon like a burst assassin who comes through the back line every time. Now as you can see, I'm here in the front line, obviously, because I'm not ganking this lane at the moment. I'm inside this team fight, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The damage that this Pokemon does is absolutely nuts still, regardless of how you perform with this Pokemon. Meaning if you run Water Shuriken and or Surf, you can still do a ridiculous amount of damage as long as you know your abilities at each and every level of the game. Because we have these things called power spikes, we have these things called advantages. When you get those power spikes, depending on what level you are, you do more damage versus other Pokemon. I.e. this Greninja's level 8. He jumps in on me, but thankfully I'm running Smokescreen. He put himself in that situation because he jumped on me. Smokescreen essentially counters most melee Pokemon, and being a ranged and a melee with Greninja, you kind of get the best of both worlds. I'm just cleaning up this lane, no problem. Like, I've been sitting down here in this bot lane all day, just getting here free farm, free kills. It puts the enemy team at a disadvantage because once they die, what happens when they're dead? What happens? They can't get EXP, right? So they get further behind while I'm sitting back here farming my jungle or what have you. Obviously, everyone's alive now, but the more time that you spend, you know, on the death timer, the more experience you're not gaining by being around the map or being alive. Now, you could argue again, I'm level 11. I'm highest level on my team right now, so I don't need to be necessarily stealing all the farm, but I try to get as much farm as I can when I'm in a carry position because I want to be able to, you know, carry the game. I gave that to her because she is level 10 and she does bring a lot to the table in terms of, you know, team play. And at the end of the day, I didn't see nobody up in this top lane, so I wanted to see if I can get this gold scored. And Mental Swine is here, unfortunately. He does a lot more damage than I thought he was going to do to me here in the situation. But it's okay because I have, what do you call it, Focus Band. So I'm not necessarily too worried about him until he tried to jump back on my face, and I had to worry about, you know, surfing out, dashing out, what have you. Then I see Lucario. So now I know I'm in trouble if I don't get this gold off. But just because, again, we have Smokescreen, Focus Band goes off, so Smokescreen drops and slows them down, but I have Eject button. And a Surf, I have a lot of escapes. If I was playing Water Shuriken there and double team, I think I would have probably been killed, personally. I just think that's a possibility for him to just go ahead and kill me if I had double team and Water Shuriken. You could argue I might have lived. I don't know. We'll never know in this situation. But for right now, I'm level 12. And all I've been doing is bouncing back between lanes, getting my farm in between my camps here. Generally speaking, I don't touch the core fishes all the time throughout my games. I kind of just focus on my buffs and rotate to the objectives. That's typically how I play jungle. I will do my core fishes if I need like a little bit of experience to get that Unite move or level up. But generally, I try to focus on my jungle buffs, mainly red buff, because that's my priority when I play any ranged Pokemon in the game. Red buff is my priority. But it's just like, we're so far ahead. 13 to 9 right there, by the way. We're so far ahead in the game. It's just like we do so much damage that enemy team can't even comprehend. I guess that makes sense. But either way, Smokescreen just does so much damage with Surf. It's really, really fun still, opposed to playing Water Shuriken all the time. Give something else a try instead of just playing everything that everybody else is doing. Because sometimes you play something new, people don't know how to respond to it. People don't know how to counterplay it or play against it. There's a lot of things going on with this Pokemon Unite game still. People are still learning. I want you guys to still learn too. Don't think you're the best at everything. You know what I mean? But each their own. This has been Pawseplays. Hope you guys smash that like button. Come join that Discord. Get notified when my videos go live. Come tell me I suck. Each their own. Happy holidays out there, guys. Stay safe. I will catch you guys in the very next video. Make sure you pay attention to my last video uploaded too, by the way, because we will be doing Dragonite giveaways here soon. Stay tuned. I'm gonna head out.